Okay, we're good to start. Thanks, Marjan.
Perfect. Thank you. So, greetings to everybody and warm welcome to the PACEY Award ceremony. The event is being organized by Basel Peace Office, Youth Fusion, City of Basel, and Reformed Church of City of Basel. My name is Marjan, and I'm going to be moderating this event. And my co-moderator is Ilya. Perhaps you can say quickly hi as well and turn on your video.
Hello, everybody. Very, very happy to be joining you. Wish everyone a very successful evening of presentations.
Thank you. So in the meantime, write us please in the chat where you are from or where you are based currently, just so that we have an idea about the geographical distribution and representation as well. Yeah, so please feel free to use the chat function. And let us go through the program of this event. So during this event, there are some highlights that I would like to tell you. So we will be hearing updates from two of the previous PACEY Award winners. We will hear the presentations from our 9 finalists for this year's award. Then we will be voting together with you to determine the finalists, from the finalists, the winners. We will have 3 winners, and each of them will be receiving a prize of 5,000 euros to support their projects. And upon the voting, we will then identify the winners and announce them during this event. So for the welcome speech, I would like to invite Professor Lukas Kundert, who is representing the Reformed Church of City of Basel. So please, Professor Kundert.
Thank you very much, Marjan. So dear peacemakers, peace workers from all over the world, a very warm welcome to you from Basel. My name, you heard it, is Lukas Kundert. I am religious leader of the Reformed Church of Basel, and I'm working in the cathedral you see in the background of my screen. And for the first time, I am part of the jury process of the PACEY Awards. For the first time, the synagogue and the churches of Basel together are sponsor of a 3rd PACEY Award. The name of this 3rd PACEY Award we call Peace and Justice Kiss Each Other. This name is a quote from Psalm 85. When the psalm was written originally, peace and justice were 2 gods. They were a couple of love. Today, Jews and Christians pray this psalm as monotheists. Peace and justice are no more 2 gods for us, but we know that peace and justice together are 2 not self-understanding bases for sustainable life. For we have to work together very hard, and as religious leaders, we want to contribute especially also to a worldwide reconciliation of the religions in the world. All of you are peace workers and workers for justice. Thank you so much that you spend your time for others, women and men from near and far. And I give back the floor to Marjan and Ilya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Kundert. You have already touched upon a little bit about the PACEY Award, so let me introduce it to those who are hearing about it for the first time. So PACEY Award, PACEY stands for Peace, Nuclear Abolition, and Climate Engaged Youth. And every year, up until now, 2 projects in European and beyond European category were being supported with the price of 5,000 euros each. However, this year we have great news of increasing number of prizes and making them in total 15,000 euros. With that, supporting an additional project in the global category beyond Europe. especially thanks to the new contribution made by Professor Lucas Kundert from the Reformed Church City of Basel. And we are also grateful for a continuous support from Professor Andi Niediker and Lucas Ott from the City of Basel for supporting youth projects related to peace, climate, and nuclear abolition. And just to let you know, since a number of prizes has increased, so did also project submissions. And this year we had around 80 project proposals. And it was quite a tough decision to come down to 9 finalists who are going to be presenting today. So we also had around 500 registrations for this event, and we see currently around 140 participants. So it means that there is a big interest in this project, and we are very happy to see also the finalists joining us and looking forward to hear from them. But first, let us go back and hear from the PACEY winners in 2021. So we will have 2 presentations from 2 projects, and their representatives will be giving us a short update and tell us a little bit about their projects. And for that, I would like to invite Ilya to introduce them, please.
Thank you very much, Marjan. So, dear participants, I am inviting first to speak to Nahan Kaya and Claudine Zarur from Platform for Peace and Humanity, our Youth Peace Ambassadors. And after them, we will hear from Nicole Ponce from World Youth for Climate Justice. So to Nahan Kaya and Claudine Zarur, we welcome you to this virtual stage. The floor is yours.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. First of all, good evening, everyone, and thank you for this invitation and giving us the opportunity to be with you today. And best of luck for the finalists today. I will introduce myself. I'm Claudine Zarur, a member in the Global Coalition of Youth Ambassador for the Right to Peace as a Youth Ambassador in Lebanon. We are a global network of young leaders who are committed to a global advocacy program toward the enforcement of the right to peace launched by Platform for Peace and Humanity, and aims for international and national legislators to adopt the human right to peace as an enforceable right, and to strengthen the legal framework of the right to peace and the crimes against peace. We work to revive the discussion on the right to peace, and the crimes against peace in the international halls before states and international institutions claim the accountability of perpetrators before the court and put an end to impunity. The adoption of the crimes against peace under the umbrella of international law, or we can say under the umbrella of international criminal law, is not easy at all, especially with the difficulties and obstacles that face us in advocating human rights. But as a youth ambassador, it's an honor for us to serve for the global peace and to serve for protect and try to protect the innocent people and our work. If I want to introduce my mission and what I did in this mission, I started my mission as youth ambassador in Lebanon by introducing the goal of the global program in Lebanon to the audience in one conference Then I launched my campaign through a webinar series of webinars to raise awareness about the right to peace in Lebanon. And then I did a interview on TV, on national TV. And in the end, in my government and before my government and in my country, I started to reach out to the national leaders and ministries to take their opinion about the right to peace. In addition of that, I shared and I presented my mission in two regional events in the Euro-Mediterranean region. The first one was in Spain. It was a camp for young leaders from the Euro-Mediterranean region. And the second one was in Italy during the Festival of the Mediterranean Citizens in Catania. So finally, I tried to raise my voice in the United Nations through a seminar, one of the regional seminar event organized by Human Rights Council, which is related to the United Nations, is a conference where I highlighted the importance of the right to peace in the implementation of the right to development. So in this conference held in United Nations Habitat in Beirut in partnership with ESCWA. If you can see that our mission is a mix between working on the ground with people to raise awareness about the right to peace, and in the second hand, we advocate and promote, and we advocate and promote the implementation of the right to peace by international law. So if I can share with you something during my mission that the people were surprised when I said that peace is not a situation, it's a sacred human right for everyone in the world, and that peace is not just about stopping war, it's about justice, humanity, it's about development, enjoying all human rights, protecting our environment and our nature. So in the end, I can say that as I'm a human rights defender, I'm strongly believer in this mission, and the Global Coalition give me the opportunity. This platform give me the opportunity to raise my voice, advocate as much as I can to achieve this mission. And here I want to thank the Executive Director of Platform for Peace and Humanity, Mr. Rastislav Sutuk, and Ms. Carlotta Maldonado Montserrat for the project coordinator for all their support and help, because we need this in this campaign in the national, regional, and international levels for sure. And in the end, I can say that our unity in this mission in promoting peace can make a difference for a more just world. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Nahan for presenting your stance, your project, and for continuing the advocacy for peace with such evident examples that you showed. And now I invite Nicole Ponce from the World's Youth for Climate Justice to also speak to us, the 2021 PACEY winner as well.
Thank you, Ilya. Hi, everyone. I have a short presentation. Just give me a few seconds to share my screen. I hope you can see that. So just to quickly introduce myself, I'm Nicole Ponce. I'm part of the steering committee of the World's Youth for Climate Justice. We are an umbrella organization. We have different fronts from different regions of the world, and we're happy to announce that our numbers are growing, and each month we are trying to build new fronts in different countries. Just to give a brief background on what we do. So right now, youth around the world are joining us on the request for an advisory opinion on climate justice. And our aim is to contribute to integrating a human rights-based approach in climate change discussion. So to reach this end, we're working to request an advisory opinion from the International Court of Justice on the matter of states' human rights obligations regarding climate change. So before we get to that, we need first a majority vote from the United Nations General Assembly, which will hopefully happen late March this year. I also wanted to share some highlights. So 12 highlights in the last 12 months. Second. Cannot, 1 second. There you go. So for year 2022, we were in Stockholm plus 50. And our team from Senegal was also at the World Water Forum. And this just last June, I mean, June of 2022, we were also invited in The Hague at the Peace Palace itself to present on the promise of an advisory opinion. And some of our colleagues were also at the Dialogue at Geneva Graduate Institute. So this is one of the photos. We emphasized meaningful participation. This was in The Hague. The title of the conference was an international conference on climate change and international law, the promise of an advisory opinion from the International Court of Justice. Also, we were able to launch in the last year, the second World Youth for Climate Justice Legal Report. So that's our second edition. And our colleagues from Pakistan also held an open mic debate and a campaign video. We also had a conference in Costa Rica headed by our front convener, Jose. And also we were in the 35th Law Asia Annual Conference. So I just wanted to quickly share a video of our friends from Pakistan. They made a campaign video. This was supposedly to support the upcoming United Nations General Assembly vote. So let me just play it for you quickly.
I'm sorry, Nicole, but there is no sound for me, at least.
Oh, sorry, there's no sound?
I don't hear.
Oh no.
Me neither, but I thought it was planned like that.
I know there's a sound, but I don't know how to. I don't know why.
Is there this video published somewhere, maybe on YouTube, so that we can just share
Yes.
the link?
Oh, yes.
in
So
the
I will
chats.
just share the link on the side. Sorry about that.
There may also be a share sound under the more button on your right-hand
one?
side of your screen. That may have
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh, there you have it. I think I said, thanks, Alan. Is that better?
It's happening.
Yes, now I
Yes.
can hear.
small island, a small group of students has now become a global movement in which everybody is looking towards this International Court of Justice to provide a ruling, an advisory ruling, which would then help everybody else, especially the developed countries, to appreciate the environment rights of people affected in the developing countries.
The agenda which pertains to the human existence, right from food security to the human health, is all linked with the climate change.
Climate change is not a fiction, nor an exaggeration. There is a lot of diplomacy against the climate change as well, climate denial, what we call as. But in fact, it is happening, and we are experiencing it.
The advisory opinion by the ICJ can lay a strong foundation for future climate negotiations.
Advisory opinion is not binding to states, but this action would surely send a clear message to all those states that hesitate to take decisive action.
I think countries affected by climate change are losing their patience with big polluting nations. We need to act now before we lose this shrinking window of opportunity.
Environment rights are basic human rights, and it's high time to acknowledge them.
Climate is changing every single moment. If we don't act swiftly, we'll lose our race and, unfortunately, our future generations.
It's happened.
So yes, I just wanted to highlight that video because, winning the PACEY Plus award gave us the much needed boost to jumpstart our campaign. We started when we founded the WICJ, we were just 5 youth from different parts of the world, and now we've grown in just a matter of 3 years. And these volunteers from Pakistan made that on their own and volunteered to do that campaign video. So it's a very special moment, especially in the recent COP27. We had a high-level meeting with the Vanuatu government for UN delegates in New York. So Ambassador Tevi of Vanuatu actually announced to seek and presented Vanuatu's leadership to seek an ICJ advisory opinion on climate change and human rights, together with a core group of 18 countries at the UN General Assembly. So this is the ICJ resolution. And just share my screen, stop sharing. Like Claudine said earlier, the concept of peace is not just the absence of war, it's about claiming justice. And that's what we're trying to do in the World's Youth for Climate Justice. We're trying to establish that nexus between climate change and how it affects human rights, because when you talk about climate change, it's very difficult to ground that, but we want to show that it's actually affecting human rights. And a huge part of that, and a huge part of addressing climate justice is also means attaining climate justice. So when we won the PACEY Award in 2021, we had nothing. It's not just the prize money helped us to deal with pesky administrative matters that were difficult for us to deal with. But more importantly, it gave us access to a wide network of mentors. In fact, after that, Alan here is already part of the advisory group for the World's Youth for Climate Justice, and he has given us much guidance on how to move forward with the campaign. So we are very grateful, and from the World's Youth for Climate Justice to all the finalists, we wish you the best of luck. And yes, I know you'll all do great things.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Thank you for your presentation. Your presentation also sounded together with the welcome message of Dr. Kundert about justice and peace. And it's very important that in your work you appeal to the law, as God wanted the supreme law to rule the world accordingly and with justice, exactly, heavenly and earthly. And on this, I would like to pass on the word to Marjan, who will give explanation on the PACEY Award voting. Please,
Thank you
Marjan.
so much, Ilya, and thank you also for the previous winners of the PACEY Award. It's very nice to see your progress, and thank you for taking your time to join us today. And just for some housekeeping rules, I see that the chat is very active. Thank you so much for sharing your locations and for sharing some of the contacts. But for now, please let us keep it free. And let us use English language, which is accessible for everybody to follow. But for now, if we could just close up the chat, it will be nice as well, just for the technical purposes. Thank you for that. And let me now introduce you to the short explanation of the PACEY Award voting procedure. So as you might know, all of you are going to be deciding on the winners of this year's awards. For the 3 winners, 3 prizes, each of you will have an opportunity to vote for your favorite projects. And we'll be using this, a Zoom poll function to select the winners. And just before the presentations by the finalists will be shown, I just would like to highlight and let you know that please make sure to notify yourself and just to note and make a mark on one project that is the most favorite from the European project that you think is deserving to be the winner. And in the category of Beyond Europe, the global project, please also make a note of 2 favorite projects that you would like them to become a winner. And with that, let us now turn to the exciting, I guess, part of this award ceremony, why we are here, right? So I would like to, again, welcome all of the finalists and also thank them for submitting your projects and ideas for the PACEY Award. And we have 9 finalists. So 3 finalists in the European project category and 6 remaining in the Beyond Europe category. Just regarding the process, the finalists will be having presentations in 2 formats. They will be either using PowerPoint presentation or pre-recorded videos. And each of them will have 6 minutes to deliver their presentation and also pitch their ideas to you. So here I would like to emphasize that everyone is going to have only 6 minutes. So please be respectful of the time limit given so that each of your peers will have an equal sharing time to present their projects. And for the technical support, I'm very grateful to Alan for showing us some of the presentations, either as a PowerPoint or video, as was mentioned before. So I will be now sharing the list of the European project finalists in the order in which they will be presenting, and also just mention the names of the projects and who is going to be represented and which format is going to be used for the presentation. So in the European project section, we have 3 finalists. The first one is Global Perspectives on Corporate Climate Legal Tactics from the UK, represented by Dr. Ivano Alonia. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. Who is going to be using a PowerPoint. Secondly, we have a project from Georgia titled Peace in Our Schools, represented by Lika Turikashvili and Ramiz Bakhtiar, who are also going to use PowerPoint. And thirdly, another European project is Safna Youth Forum database from Switzerland, represented by Tsubasa Shinohara, who is going to be also using a PowerPoint presentation. So with that, I would like to call upon Dr. Ivana Alonia, please. The virtual floor is yours, and you have 6 minutes, and I'm going to set a timer. So, and I will let you know once the time is up. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon or good morning, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It is an honor, a pleasure to participate in this remarkable event and also to have our project selected for this final of the 2023 PACEY Award. So I'm Ivan Alonia. I'm the research leader in environmental climate change law at BICL, at the British Institute of International Comparative Law. And I'm really delighted to introduce you today to this project, Global Perspectives on Corporate Climate Legal Tactics. So firstly, let me start with a short introduction of the issue at stake. Just a few weeks ago, the Emission Gap Reports 2022 was published by UN Environment. You see on the top right corner of our slide. This finds that the international community is falling far short of the Paris goals, with no credible pathway to 1.5 degrees in place. So only an urgent system-wide transformation can avoid climate disasters. This always more evident failure by national international policymakers has required other actors to react in order to tackle climate change. We can see some pictures here. So the advent of global climate protest with grassroots climate, especially youth movements such as Friday for Future, has in a way shown a spotlight on this inadequacy of government action and also required lawyers to think about how they can use the law to push for change, also through an intra-generational positive dynamics. So climate change litigation, which is the base of our work, is an increasingly fundamental component of the governance framework that has emerged to regulate how states respond to this climate change crisis at different levels. And it is made by exerting pressure on the executive and legislative branches of government to act on climate change issues. Today, we have more than 2,000 climate change litigation cases around the world. This is according to Sabin Center, Columbia University, Grantham Institute. While around 3/4 of these cases have been filed against states, climate change-related cases also been filed against private actors, mostly carbon majors, so fossil fuels and cement companies, which are major greenhouse gas emitters. According to Rick Eady and the Climate Accountability Institute, 63% of the carbon dioxide and methane emitted between the years 1951 and 2010 can be attributed to a mere 90 companies. And although there is a growing body of work analyzing climate change litigation from a comparative perspective, there is also our book on the first slide, an edited volume on climate change litigation. The analysis of the peculiarity of cases involving corporate actors has yet to receive the same rigorous attention. And this is where our project steps in. So what are these project goals? The project will produce a mapping and comparative analysis of corporate climate litigation cases globally, taking into consideration perspective from 17 countries in the first year, in order to offer a comprehensive overview of both the existing best practice worldwide and the most suitable corporate climate litigation avenues for very differentiated legal system and economies. The project will catalog existing cases, so taking stock also of lessons learned in other fields like tobacco, asbestos, and toxic torts litigation. Also, this will engage in a strategic, prospective, and interdisciplinary thinking. We are identifying possible frameworks, argument, and legal instruments to tackle climate change. And with this project, we have litigation planning, contributing to more comprehensive and effective climate action. We want to raise public awareness and eventually, as a consequence of the deterrent effect of litigation, allow and encourage corporate actors to mitigate their litigation risk by changing, business behavior. So in view of this objective, these tools, this project will provide a selection of instruments for NGOs, government bodies, local communities, and other affected groups and individuals around the world, and those representing them. It will also contain an inventory of substantive procedural provisions relevant to climate change cases to be used as legal models by policymakers, by legal practitioners, and also they could be used as authoritative reference point by judges and other adjudicators. So a lot of things, hopefully, well done. So the research and the content analysis is carried out by Beaker's climate change research team and these 17 national rapporteurs. There are more than 17, the 17 are the countries. So there are national rapporteurs from each of the selected jurisdiction, mostly young and brilliant academics, together with some more senior and experienced ones. And they are supported by a core group, as you can see, and a wider international expert group, which is built around to support the national rapporteurs. The core group is comprised of some of the most internationally renowned experts from around the world in the field of corporate climate litigation and related areas, drawn from science, judiciary, legal practice, and academia, as you can see. And the project will initially run across 2 years. In the first year, we collect the most updated and comprehensive information pertaining to the possible avenues for improving this kind of climate litigation country by country through country workshop, comparative workshops with exchange and comparison among experts from the 17 jurisdictions analyzed. And during COP28 in Dubai, we'll publish the result of our findings in the form of a toolbox on corporate climate litigation to be used by, as I said, local communities, NGOs, states, and other stakeholders for creating a strong dynamics where companies will be critical actors for real and positive change toward a net zero future. In the second year, yes, sorry?
Sorry, your time is up. So please, if you could conclude with your last sentence.
Yeah, the second year will be more about testing and dissemination. And so is everything that I had to say. Thank you for your attention. Don't hesitate to visit our website and contact if you want to join us in this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ivano. And now we are moving to our second European project, representatives to present their projects on peace in our schools from Georgia. So Lika and Vermees, please. The virtual floor is yours, Sam. And you have 6 minutes to present as well.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Honored to be here today. My name is Lika Torikashvili. I'm originally from Georgia. I was Georgia's UN Youth representative, and together with Ramis Bakhtiar, a friend and colleague, a co-founder of the global network that unites UN Youth delegates from around the world.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. My name is Ramis Bakhtiar. I am originally from Afghanistan. I was born and raised in a remote village in the south side of Afghanistan. My childhood was largely impacted by war and conflict, and that's why we're doing this project. I was Afghanistan's first youth representative to the United Nations, and I'm also a co-founder of Peace in Our Schools and the network of former youth delegates to the United Nations organization. I'm currently based in Canada. I'm a refugee in Canada. Today we are presenting Peace in Our Schools, and our presentation will have 3 parts. First, we'll tell you about the background of the project, and then about ourselves, who we are, and why we are doing this project.
There is a background noise.
I don't understand what is the background noise coming from. I'm probably in a place where there's no background noise.
I'm hearing some disturbing noise, but maybe it's just me.
No, I also hear it.
No, we all hear it.
Just appeared.
Is it better now?
No.
It's the same. Okay, now it stopped.
Now it's good.
Stopped.
Perfect.
No problem.
So first, we will tell you about our project, about Peace in Our Schools, about the background of the project, about ourselves, and then we'll tell you about ourselves. And third, we will tell you why we are doing this project, why Peace in Our Schools, and why we are presenting this project for this award. Lika and I initiated Peace in Our Schools in 2021, and we together presented Peace in Our Schools for a global competition that was organized by the World Jewish Congress and Consulate General of Israel in New York. It's called Compass Pitch, because Lika is a fellow of the World Jewish Congress. So we pitched Peace in Our Schools. After several rounds of presentations and interviews, Peace in Our Schools was selected as one of 3 winners of the campus pitch competition, which enabled us to start implementing the project. We established an online presence, including our website, Twitter, and other social media accounts. It also enabled us to travel to Georgia, to Bosnia, and into Indonesia. So far, we have worked with 600 students in 3 countries. We've covered 10 schools. So we go to schools, we work with school students and young adults. We organize our workshops inside those schools. We choose students in consultation with the schools and the pedagogists because of their background, their emotions, and their behaviors. Our project is also in line with the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250, 2490, and 2535, and Sustainable Development Goal 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions, because we promote the power and participation of young people in global peace and security. These are some pictures from our projects in Georgia, in Bosnia, in 2021 and 2022. I traveled to Bosnia because I've been there before. It was carefully selected country. Bosnia experienced war from 1992 to 1995. After the war ended, the cycle of hate did not end. So we wanted to step in and bring school children and young people together to help them learn peace building, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence. Because for me, as someone who have experienced war and hardship as a child and as a young adult, I believe it's conflict resolution and peace building is the most important skill for young people to learn, mainly in countries that have experienced violence and war. These are more pictures from Bosnia and Georgia. The first picture is from a school in Bosnia. Bosnia is a very complicated country. There are Muslims, Christians, and Catholic. And when I was working with school students, they would tell me that when they live in Sarajevo, in the capital of Bosnia, if they want to go from one part of the capital to another part of the capital, their parents tell them not to go there, or when they want to go there, they need to be careful. Why? Because the tensions and the hate is still there. However, the war ended in 1995. The violence, direct violence ended in 1995, but the cycle of hate and tensions did not end. That's why we believe that in countries that are in conflict or in post-conflict situation, we need to work with young people to enable them to become peace builders, to enable them to be peacemakers and to resolve their conflicts in a productive and peaceful manner. My colleague Lika will tell you more about the Georgia part.
Thank you, Ramiz. Georgia has also been affected by war with Russia fairly recently, and our generation of young people is still experiencing that trauma and pain caused by that war. So in Georgia, we worked with a lot of young people living by the ABL line with South Ossetia. We also went to the mountainous regions of Georgia. Since Georgia is a country where young people living in rural areas are not very exposed to other religions like Judaism or Islam, our main goal was... Sorry?
I'm sorry, your time is up. So if you could just conclude your presentation, please.
Sure. Well, the main message was that our peace building and emotional intelligence trainings build resilience, and we mainly bring them to schools and universities. And right now, because of the war happening in Europe between Ukraine and Russia, there are a lot of young people escaping the war, moving to Georgia, young Ukrainian refugees and Russian immigrants as well. And Georgia is a third country where this young people live together, but there are tensions, there is hatred, and there's a lot of pain. And we hope to work with these young people young students, Ukrainians and Russians, to start building peace, and hope that peace in our schools in Georgia can be one of the tools to stop the cycle of hate and violence, which will last for a very long time, unfortunately.
Thank you so much, Lika. Lika, I'm very sorry, but we have to move on.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much. So now let us move to the third European project, which is Safna Youth Forum Database from Switzerland, represented by Tsubasa Shinohara, who is also going to be using PowerPoint presentation. And again, I would like to emphasize to all of the finalists to please respect the given time limit so that everyone has an equal chance to present their projects. Thank you for your understanding. And Tsubasa, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for organizers at first to give me such a wonderful opportunity to share my project with you here. My name is Tsubasa Shinohara, who is the chair and founder of Safna Youth Forum and a PhD candidate in law at the University of Lausanne. I will talk about our project, Safna Youth Forum Database Project. So you can see our website through this QR code. So you can see all of the PowerPoints, this QR code you can use and whenever you want. So who we are. So Safna Youth Forum is established in November 2022 under the aegis of the Association Swiss Lawyers for Nuclear Disarmament to provide for young generation an opportunity to engage in the Safna's activity easily. We want to become an educational institution, not activist, to give an opportunity for all students without a one-sided view. So we are a complete separate body from the Safna because the Safna is not an educational institution. So main purpose of the Safna Youth Forum is to establish an opinion forum for young generation, especially bachelor and master students at the university or any other education institutions, to share their opinions and ideas freely and easily in the field of nuclear disarmament arms control. So that is the main topic. I will explain our project. So that is our website for the database. So this project is to collect all related sources in the field of nuclear disarmament arms control. It includes all topics relevant to this field. So it may include topics on the climate change, human rights, and any other interesting topics. This is because civil society, scholars, lawyers, diplomats, and students need to have information. This database may contribute to providing them with the benefit that they can save time to look for such resources in the field of nuclear disarmament and arms control. We also welcome not only social science, but also other measures as well in relevant to the nuclear disarmament and arms control. So there are two methods for this project. First, our members can update this database. Second, you can also submit your item to us via email and our website. Because we launched the SYF blog is also to give the opportunity for students to write some articles and notes. So through this activity, they usually have to refer to sources. So we try to update the resources to this database. And also you can also submit your items through our website. And if you cannot use system, you can also send us by email. Through this project, what is the result? I think that everyone may easily have access to academic and non-academic resources relevant to nuclear disarmament and arms control. And also it serves to develop knowledge on public and private actors in this field, because some public sectors also the deficits cannot have the ways to search for some specific topics, so it may be helpful. So, and thirdly, it would contribute to filling the knowledge gap between students and the professionals in this field. And finally, it may identify a different approach and opinion from nuclear disarmament and arms control. Because normally it's really difficult to break through the stagnation of nuclear disarmament and arms control. So that's why we need this different perspective from the young generation. So that is end, especially for our personal information, you can search for all of the Twitter and the link to Instagram. And also if you are interested in my own research, you can also follow my personal account. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tsubasa. Actually, you have 2 minutes, but perfect timing, yeah. So now let's move on to the next part. So we have completed the 3 projects in the European section. And now I would like to pass the floor to Ilya, who is going to co-moderate the projects in the Beyond Europe section.
Thank you, Marjan. Yes, as you see, we are being very consistent on time. So I will announce the order of presentations and try to memorize when is your turn. We will start with adopted present. Arujan Audanbekova will present about Ertis Mektebi School. Then Mona Lisa Azarika will present about nuclear lives. Next, number 4, Davina Malum will speak about Silence the Guns. After that, Mohammad Ahmadi will talk about storytelling as a catalyst of action for peace, love, and climate justice. And number 6 will be Kola Aru Kolnir talking about youth peace caravans. So, Joseph Tsongo from Democratic Republic of Congo, please speak. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today in this event. I'm Joseph Tsongo, a young social change activist and leader of the Adopted Tree Not a Weapon project. So to escape the vagaries of the internet connection, which is always lacking here, I pre-recorded my video and I ask you to follow it. Please, you're welcome.
Armed conflict and climate change pose a serious threat to humanity today and tomorrow. While the proliferation and illicit trafficking of small arms poses a problem particularly in Africa, the global nuclear arsenal could cause a catastrophe and change society forever. But in the meantime, the effects of climate change are being felt hard around the world, even though communities in the midst of conflict at the same time are the most threatened and left behind in climate action. As proactive young people, we see the threat to present and future generations, and through our energy and creative spirit, we implement local solutions to these global challenges. I'm Joseph Tsongo, the leader of the Adopt a Tree Not a Weapon project from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Adopt a Tree Not a Weapon is a project to address the climate crisis and activism of local and foreign armed groups using children as soldiers to combat violence and destroy the biodiversity. The project, run by former child soldiers and other young volunteers from the Amani Institute as well organization, uses a range of innovative approaches, including participatory foreign theater in the psychodrama style to educate and engage other youth. But it's also an advocacy campaign for leaders at all levels, asking them to disarm violence and arm climate action, including a dynamic of peaceful conflict management around the world.
Kama ni kufa tutakufa, kama ni kufa tutakufa, kama ni kuua tutaua, kama ni kuua tutaua. Kama ni kubaka, utabaka. Kama ni kubaka, utabaka. Silanjo. Baba. Silanjo. Baba. Silanjo. Baba. Silanjo. Baba. Never never. A gauche, gauche. A gauche, gauche. A gauche, gauche.
You know what they do to me. Your charm attracted me because I know today that I was fulfilled with you. To forget you.
We believe that if every penny wasted in nuclear weapons was instead used for social and climate justice, we will live in an overall better world by 2050. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for presenting your project. Now we continue with Aruzhan Audanbekova, who will present about Ertis Mektebe School in Kazakhstan. Aruzhan, please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to meet you and see you all here. I have pre-recorded my presentation so that I don't go over the time limit. Could you start presenting, showing the video?
Is a committee of PACEY 2023 awards, guests, and of course finalists. It is a great pleasure and honor for our project to be represented at such a global event. My name is Audanbekova Aruzhan, and I'm the leader of the project Ertis Mektebe. Let me tell you a little bit more about our project. So Ertis Mektebe is a school for every child that is designed to develop individual potential and skills of each and every student. Today, I would like to tell you about our project, our history, our mission, and what we have already accomplished. First of all, it is important to note that our school is located in the city of Semey, in the eastern part of Kazakhstan. There is one main reason why we decided to open our school at the city of Semey. Semey is located only 130 kilometers away from the former Semipalatinsk nuclear test site. Semipalatinsk nuclear test site was started in 1947 and was actively exploited up until 1989. Here is what was happening between 1949 and 1989. 456 nuclear tests were conducted in just 40 years. And the total power of all the explosions was 2,500 times more than the power of the bomb thrown on Hiroshima in Japan. As a consequence of exploitation of Semipalatinsk nuclear test site for 40 years, over 1 million people became victims, suffering from various diseases. Today, there are more than 1,500 children suffering from neuropsychological and musculoskeletal disabilities, and more than 2,600 children suffering from mental retardation. They all are living in the city of Semey, and we believe that they deserve to have access to high-quality education. However, current situation in education system of Kazakhstan does not properly support such children. There are several types of schools functioning in the Republic of Kazakhstan right now. The first type is autonomous schools. Also, there are specialized schools. Both these types of schools require certain exams to be passed before enrolling their students. Also, there are general education schools and separate correctional schools for children with special educational needs. However, we decided to create our own model of schooling that is based on the principle of inclusion. So children, after passing a psychophysiological diagnostic test, will be offered to be admitted to one of 4 programs. And I will tell you about these programs in more details a little bit later. The mission of our school, first and foremost, includes raising awareness and acceptance of children's health problems in the city of Semey. Our second mission is supporting every child and providing necessary support for them, regardless of their parents' social and economic status, their educational achievements and skills. Also, we would like to emphasize education of parents, which is also very important while working with children with special educational needs. The idea of this project came to me last year, and since then we have already purchased a building in the city of Semey, and currently we are renovating it. As you can see from the pictures, we have cleaned up the territory of the school and started the renovation process. As for educational structure of Yırtys Mektebi, we decided that there would be 4 programs that each suit and accommodate the needs of every child. So Yırtys Pro will be a program that will be teaching according to state obligatory standard for education in specialized schools. And this program will include preparing children for Republican Olympiads and scientific contests, applying the personalized education method. The next program is Yırtys Air, and it will be teaching according to state obligatory standard for education. The teaching in this program will be based on TRIZ methodology, that is a problem-solving philosophy that is based on scientific data and research. Teaching process in Yırtys Air will be game and project-based. If students of Yırtys Air achieve a certain marker, they will be given a choice to be relocated to Yırtys Pro. Yırtys Lite will be a program that will include development of group teaching programs for children and group teaching programs for parents as well. This program will also include constant monitoring of inclusive work conducted in the classroom and its efficiency as well. A chance to be relocated to AIR classrooms will be offered to children who meet certain markers. And finally, Yırtys Go is a program that includes development of personalized educational program for every child and development of individual programs for every parent as well. Yırtys Go will also include constant monitoring of correctional work conducted in the classroom. And of course, students who meet certain markers will be given a chance to be relocated to Yırtys Lite classroom. So this was the history of our project, our mission, goals and accomplishments. Thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them.
Aruzhan, thank you very much for presenting Ertis Mektebi School project. Now we pass to Mona Lisa Hazarika, who will present Nuclear Lives Uranium Mining on indigenous communities of Meghalaya in India. Please, Mona Lisa.
Yes, thank you. Greetings of the day, everyone. I hope you can see my screen. Start the slideshow. Okay, it's an honor to share the space with such inspiring projects and initiatives. My name is Mona Lisa Hazarika. I'm a master's student, a UNODA Leaders for Tomorrow, and an indigenous disarmament activist from India. I'm super excited and privileged to present my project, Nuclear Lives, which unfolds the legacy of uranium mining on the indigenous communities of Meghalaya. To contextualize my topic, I will be talking briefly about my region, Northeast India, which is the peripheral border area connected to the mainland by a 21-kilometer strip of land called the Chicken Neck at the Siliguri corridor. Comprising of 7 Indian states, this region shares 98% of its borders internationally with China, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nepal, and Bangladesh, and hence is of major geostrategic importance for its porous borders, its vicinity to the Golden Triangle, and also the rich stockpile of natural resources. It is inhabited by over 250 indigenous communities and ethnic groups of the Mongoloid stock, but unfortunately have been widely underrepresented on national and international forums. Meghalaya is one of the 7 states, which literally translates to abode of clouds, for its scenic beauty and rich heritage. It's inhabited primarily by 3 tribal groups, which is the Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. An important fact here is that this state has an estimate of 9.2 million tons of high-grade uranium ore, which is the highest in the entire country. Having one of the last thriving matrilineal societies in the world, women play a critical role in decision-making and ownership of land in this region. It is also a great biodiversity spot and has over 16 waterfalls and so. This community had to face the burden of our country's nuclear dreams when the Atomic Minerals Directorate found traces of uranium back in the 1970s. This is the case of uranium mining in Domyasyat, which is a village of just 6 households. It all began in 1975 when AMD conducts its aerial surveys and found traces of uranium, followed by exploratory mining from 1980s in villages across Meghalaya as part of the KPM project. It's around this time that the villagers started noticing the visible after effects, such as water bodies turning acidic, the rise in cases of stillborn births, and the death of local wildlife. By 1990s, the village matriarch asked the authorities to leave her village, and so began the era of the longest running anti-uranium protests. Despite the strong opposition of the UCIL, started its project in 2000, and by 2009 was allowed to mine in the neighboring Mauthoba area. This was met by strong resistance from the local student bodies, and after almost a decade of petitions, political lobbying, and advocacy efforts, the government had to halt these activities in 2018. But the issue did not just stop here. The KPM project resulted in over 650 tons of contaminated tailings, which were left unprotected at the mining sites. The concrete pits that were later created had reports of leakages from the locals. A bot job was done by the ministry, which was recently uncovered by the notable environmentalist and whistleblower, Dr. Bremley Lengto, in October 2020. His US-made Gregor counter recorded ionizing radiation of over 1,000 counts per minute from one spot, while the radiation level fluctuated between 235 and 315 counts per minute in other areas, pointing at the irreversible damage that has already been done. While the AMD and the authorities deny the claims made by locals as baseless and unscientific, the rampant increase in cases of miscarriage, deformities in newborn children, and cancer says otherwise. Further, Domyasyat is not the only village in Meghalaya to possess uranium, as neighboring villages Wakhin and Lostoin have India's largest and richest sandstone-type uranium deposits. Domyasyat is a classic example of successful youth-led movement, but at what cost? The villages do not have access to even the basic amenities and services like water supply, electricity, healthcare, or even concrete roads for transportation. The children here have to travel every day to the neighboring village, as their own does not even have a school. This is the price that the people pay for saying no to the project. My project, Nuclear Lives, is an interview series documenting the testimonies of these victims who bear witness to the leakage and ramification of India's nuclear dreams, bridging the gap in available research and a focus on the legacy left behind. It comprises first-hand accounts from natives, activists, grassroots NGOs, student bodies, the local authorities, militant groups, scientists, and experts from academia to build a comparative analysis and holistic understanding of the matter. The objective of this project is to record the suppressed history of one of the unexplored anti-uranium protests led by the village matriarch, Ms. Peliti Lingdo Langren, and capitalize on this opportunity to bring forth the stories of these disenfranchised communities left out of the narrative. By conducting independent research and working on an academic paper. I'm sorry?
1 minute left, Mona Lisa.
Yes. By conducting independent research and working on an academic paper, I wish to recenter the focus away from the available data and paint a humane picture behind the facts and figures. The following grant would help me implement and materialize my vision of contextualizing them to a more conducive and contemporary form of storytelling and initiate academic discussions. A lot is at stake. It's a matter that poses great risk for human health, ethnic sovereignty, keeping the native land and resources in the hands of the community, and protecting livelihood and customs endangered by efforts of mainstreaming nuclearism. That's all from me. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Mona Lisa, for presenting your project. Now we continue to Divina Maloum from Cameroon, who will present her project, Silence the Guns.
Hi, everyone, and wish you a happy new year. So due to the connectivity issue, I did a pre-recorded video. So please, Aline, can you share my video? Hi, everyone, just permit me to share my screen. So, hi everyone, and welcome to the PACEY Awards ceremony. So before introducing myself, I'll first of all like to thank the Almighty God for this wonderful moment and the organizers who decided to grant me the honor to be amongst the finalists of this amazing award. So my name is Divina Maloum. I am the founder of Children for Peace. I am a multi-award peace building practitioner. I am a nuclear non-proliferation activist. So basically today I'm going to present my project, Silence the Guns. So before giving some details about the project Silence the Guns, let me just talk about the socio-political context in Africa, which is characterized by an escalation of violence and insecurity perpetrated by terrorist groups like Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and the various affiliations of Al-Qaeda, which are relatively well known both regionally and globally. And due to that, there are a lot of children that have been involved in terrorist activities. So basically, I'm going to present the organization leading the project, that is Children for Peace. And basically, Children for Peace is a girl-led movement created in 2015, committed to democratize public sphere for more political and economic expression and engagement of children to address the security crisis affecting democracy, human rights, and peace in Africa, and particularly in Cameroon. And Children for Peace help children and teenagers to understand human rights challenges, the importance of diversity, intergeneration and intercultural dialogue, and also that all races are equal and they should always stand up to defend human rights. So I'm going to talk about the third phase of the project because we have implemented the first and the second phase of the project. So basically, Silence the Gun is an integrated citizen engagement project led by girls aiming to realize a conflict-free Africa by engaging children to mobilize all stakeholders to prioritize efforts on gender equity, peace building, and effective socioeconomic development. And basically, the project aims to democratize and reshape local governance and conflict management, thereby unleashing grassroots approaches and innovative solutions to build peace and improve children's rights in war-affected areas. So you can see on this image. So basically, my team and I, we implemented 4 important strategies for the advancement of the project. That is first, the networking platforms, secondly, advancing policy, capacity building, and finally, peace entrepreneurship development. So Silence the Guns is really an important project because it helps to contribute to the impact knowledge and peace building awareness and education through practical learnings and interactive activities, helps to support children to take positive actions towards finding better solutions to issues related to peace building, violent extremism, and human rights, focusing on children's rights, disarmament, and illicit proliferation of weapons. We also help increase peace-building awareness through creating an interactive learning environment and provide children with art and innovative practical solutions so that they can be change makers in their communities. So basically, we have some key expected results for the third phase of the project. That is first, make sure that 30 girls resume schools, the capacity of at least 3,000 children built on topics related to leadership, peace building, fight against hate speech, violent extremism, and human rights, that would directly touch the capacity building of 300 children. So we have at least also 1,500 additional children, and those the Children's Declaration on the ceasefire, silence the guns, drafted by children and focusing on the UNSG ceasefires. So we also have 500 additional children mentored and directly engaged by fellow children in the drafting and implementation of community initiatives. And we also have, due to the COVID situation, online and offline community awareness, advocacy campaigns that touch at least 5 million people. Sorry. So we also have one important tool that is really the base of every project, that is the monitoring and evaluation. So basically, the project's progress and results are being monitored by Children for Peace with the networks of religious, traditional leaders, and local authorities, including beneficiary children. In fact, at the beginning of the first, the second, and the third phase of the project, the beneficiary will be presented the quantitative and qualitative results expected from questionnaires, surveys, and interviews. So here are some of the key outcomes of Silence the Guns from 2019 to 2020 and from 2021 to 2022. So basically, we can see here at least 4 advocacy meetings were organized with 1,000.
Thank you very much. Now the time is coming up.
Traditional and religious authorities and 3 sensitization meetings organized with 200 community members on matters related to hate speech and children's rights, demobilization, reintegration, and disarmament of ex-child soldiers, and kids' rights and the implementation of the UN Convention on the Right of the Child, that is related to youth and children's participation in peace building. So we also fight against early marriage. That is a topic that really needs to be put in details. So
thank you once again, Divina Malum, for your presentation. And now we continue with our 2 remaining speakers. It's Mohammad Ahmadi, who will present to us at first storytelling as a catalyst of action for peace, love, and climate justice in the Middle East and North Africa region. Mohammad, please take the floor.
Okay, so I'll be talking instead of Mohammad. He's my colleague and friend. So we're representing the MENA Youth Network, and we're going to be showing a video that Mohammad is going to share right now. And then we're going to be commenting on it afterwards.
It is no secret that the effects of wars and conflicts are exacerbated by the global climate crisis. Take our region, the Middle East and North Africa. Poverty, food insecurity, water scarcity, instability, chaos. We read about the impacts of these compounding crises from reports, on the news, from the mouths of politicians, diplomats, representatives. But when was the last time we heard from people on the ground, those experiencing the worst effects of warmongering policies and climate inaction. For too long, the conversation surrounding collapse in the Middle East and North Africa has excluded the voices of the people most directly affected by the intersection of conflict and climate change. Our project aims to change that reality. It is time we listen to the stories of people on the front lines and integrate their perspectives in our advocacy for peace, disarmament, and climate justice. Our project is divided into two phases. For the first phase, we plan to develop an online media archive that spotlights the stories of people who bear the brunt of warmongering policies and climate inaction in our region.
To do this, we will be conducting a series of in-person interviews across the MENA region, asking people in conflict-ridden areas about their lives, routines, and experiences.
The interviews will be transcribed, translated, and posted on a website that we are specifically dedicating for this project.
We will add a submission portal to include even more voices and visuals from these communities. They will be accompanied by pictures and videos showing the impact of the climate crisis and conflict in their areas.
After we gather archives material, we intend to engage with the knowledge produced by holding regional workshops and exhibitions, all revolving around the central question of how can we meaningfully and efficiently integrate the people's perspectives in advocacy and political calls for action. The youth who participate in these workshops will be empowered to lead initiatives related to the climate justice, peace, and security in their nations.
The MENA Youth Network was founded by climate justice activists from all over the Middle East and North Africa. We aim to amplify the diversified voices of young people from the MENA region, encourage region-wide projects and collaborations, and increase climate justice awareness amongst MENA youth and the general public. In our previous campaign, we partnered up with the World Food Forum and the FAO to hold region-wide youth consultations on agri-food systems transformations, with both online and in-person sessions held at the FAO HQ in Rome, with a resulting policy brief written by the youth participants. For this very exciting campaign, we intend to use the well-connectedness of our organization to collaborate with different civil society groups across the region. Our goal is that our story archive, workshops, and exhibitions involve youth, adults, policymakers, researchers, and other influential figures in our quest to underscore the power of storytelling in humanizing crises and driving action for peace, love, and climate justice in our beloved MENA. And we would appreciate your vote and support to help make this happen.
Okay, thank you so much for your attentiveness. So as the video discussed, our project is called Storytelling as a Catalyst for Peace, Love, and Climate Justice in MENA. And so very briefly, like what the video mentioned, we're going to have the project in two phases. We're going to be focusing on stories of the people who are on the front lines that are experiencing conflict and climate change, because we all know how conflict is exacerbated by climate change and climate inaction. And the purpose of this project, or the aims of this project, is generally to highlight the connectedness of conflict to climate change and how they are worsening each other in a cycle, and to spotlight the stories of the people who are experiencing this on the daily. We want to look at the climate crisis and at war beyond numbers, beyond statistics and reports. We want to see the human element in it, because we believe that the power of storytelling is very important and it's very strong. And so this is why we intend to have a database for storytellers to share their stories, and also to conduct in-person interviews with different people regionally, and to keep this growing for policymakers to refer back to, for young people to be able to share their stories as well, and of course for researchers, for journalists, just to have a different perspective on climate change. Because for me, I became aware and I started to care when I started listening to people and to stories. Reports and statistics, we became insensitized to them. And so we believe that this is the next step forward in raising awareness, and that's what we should be doing. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for presenting the storytelling project. And finally, we're going to listen from Kuol Aru Kuol Nua, who is from Sudan and Uganda, and he will speak about youth peace caravans. Please, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kwal Arau Kwal, a former child soldier, a peace builder, a refugee and a founder from South Sudan. I have been a refugee here in northern Uganda since 2014. First of all, allow me, before I introduce the initiative, allow me to thank the jury that selected us to be part of this year's PACEY Awards. You all have no idea what this means to me and the team that I work with. It means a fuel in our engine to continue with a lot of passion the work that we do to promote peaceful coexistence in our locality and beyond. The Peace Caravan initiative that is now being part of this year's PACEY Awards was formed in 2014. When I and the fellow refugees from South Sudan arrived in a transit point in northern Uganda, we were coming from very different ethnic backgrounds. South Sudan has 64 ethnicities. These are ethnicities with long history of animosity. And so when we were forced by the circumstances of being refugees to stay in shared refugee accommodations, you guess what? The long history of animosity started resurfacing and led to clashes, destruction, and death. Most of the people who were involved, directly and indirectly, victims and the perpetrators, were the youth. Most of whom I knew had experiences of being child soldiers and sexual violence victims. And so the team that I work with sat down to think about the way to break the historical negative assumptions that fuel the conflict. And that's when we formed the Peace Caravans. The Peace Caravans targeted the youth who were now exposed to the intergenerational negative assumptions, to give them a platform where they can share their stories, to give them a platform where they can share their skills and find support and solidarity among themselves. So the Peace Caravan initiative has been doing exactly that, giving a space for youth to share their stories. In these spaces, the youth realize that their stories are similar, their experiences of war are similar, irrespective of which ethnicity they come from. It has been replicated among the refugees from other contexts like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, Central African Republic, among others. We work basically with the child soldiers, the former child soldiers, because they have similar experiences. With the Peace Caravan, the youth move from one area to another to come together, share their stories, share skills. And most of the skills that they have shared include the ones that can help them earn a living, to become busy, because we realize redundancy is making them to engage in negative practices, like the conflict itself, drug abuse, among others. So the award, this award is helping us in several ways. One, if we are lucky to win, it will help us reach many youth that we have not been reaching because of limited resources, and to share with them the skills that are within our network that will help them earn a living. During the Peace Caravans, the skills that I shared include making soaps, farming skills, which has so far helped so many of our members. And they are now farming, and the others are able to sell their liquid soaps, among others. There are also sports materials, because when we are able to be together, share our stories, eventually we share meals and then go out to play together. So the awards will help us provide the mentioned items, but also greatly will help us to connect with the youth from other contexts to promote the Peace Caravan initiative. So far, we have impacted 1,600 youth, and we believe with this award, we can be able to reach more. We thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Kuala Kualnur, for presenting your project. Now we proceed to voting, and I pass on the word to Marjan.
Thank you so much, Ilya, and thanks a lot for the finalists from the Beyond Europe category projects for presenting their ideas, and also thanks to the European projects as well, who have completed their parts. So now we are starting our voting procedure, and I just would like to remind that we will be using a Zoom poll to select the winners, and each person will vote twice, one vote for European project and one vote for Beyond Europe project. And in the Beyond Europe project, the top scored two projects will be selected as winners, whereas in the European project, there will be one winner accordingly. So with that, I would like to ask Alan to bring us the Zoom poll. Thank you. So please take your time and select your favorite projects. So I see that half of the participants already voted. Now we are moving towards more than half of the participants, around 65, I see. So everyone has a vote, everyone can contribute to the decision making. So please use your vote wisely. %76 voted. And just in case, if we have an even number of votes, for instance, for the Beyond Europe project, we're gonna make a run-up to select the winner. So I see that we are closing, we are approaching the completion of the voting. There are still some participants who did not vote yet. So we are almost there, almost 90% voted. It's really great to see this dynamic. And we had very inspiring projects, yeah. We still have just a little to go. and we're almost there. We're nearing the completion. Just a very tiny bit left, so 4 more participants should vote. It's fluctuating with the number of participants. Yeah, just one person left. Okay, now we have reached 100%. And I can see the results.
Shall I share the results with everyone, Marjan, or did you want to announce them first?
Yeah, whatever way is better. So I could announce them and we could also share the results afterwards, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna keep you any longer in waiting. So we have clearly a winner in the European project section, which is Peace in Our Schools from Georgia. Congratulations. And in Beyond Europe project, we have 2 winners, 2 clear winners as well. So the first project is Adapt a Tree, Not a Weapon from Democratic Republic of Congo, followed by Yildiz Mektebe School from Kazakhstan. Congratulations as well. And now
Marjan, no, the storytelling had slightly more, 22%, as a catalyst of action for peace and love.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry about this.
I can now share the results with everyone so they can see. Maybe you didn't see it was further down the list.
Yeah, it didn't show me. I'm very sorry for this. Yeah. Just to Alan, I couldn't really vote in this poll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So is it possible?
You and I can't vote because we're the hosts.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have made a difference because the numbers are 49 for Adopt a Tree, 42 for storytelling as a catalyst of action for peace and love in the MENA, and 39 for Yildiz Mektebe School, Kazakhstan. I'll now share those results with everyone so you can see them all.
Yeah, sure.
So it was Adopt a Tree, Not a Weapon.
Yeah, and the second project is storytelling as a catalyst.
Yeah, in the MENA region, that's correct.
And it's a very slight percentage difference. Again, sorry for this mistake. I couldn't really see it from my screen well.
Okay, so should I stop the sharing now? Has everyone seen the results?
I cannot see them, so perhaps, yeah. Okay, now I see it, yeah. Okay, so I guess, yeah, we are beyond of our given time, so perhaps we can close this voting. So again, I would like to congratulate all of the winners as well as finalists for participating in today's PACEY Awards ceremony, for your wonderful presentations. and it's been very difficult to select the winner. And as you could see, especially in the global projects, it was very close to being a tie, and there was a difference of just a couple of votes. So for congratulatory words to the finalists, I would like to invite Professor Lucas Kundert, if you are still here with us. So please, the floor is yours, Sam.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Marshall. You hear me? You hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of the finalists. Congratulations to the finalists. You know, you made my year, this year of 2023, to a year of joy, because you sent your projects to us, and when I studied these projects, all these projects, it generated a great warmth in my heart, and we are so happy that you are working for peace and justice worldwide. So congratulations to all the 9 finalists projects. It's so hard to make a choice of just 3 projects, but we had to do. And I want to say our warm thanks for you all. We are myself, I am an elder man, but you are so young, so honest, so full of hope, and you are a blessing for the world. Let me say the strongest words from Jesus to you. He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons and daughters of God." So I will say you, bless you, God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Kundert, and once again for your support in this project, and for your contribution as well. I think we have already announced the winners, so let me just recall them again. So in the European project winner, we have Peace in Our Schools from Georgia. In the Beyond Europe projects, we have Adopt a Tree, Not a Weapon from Democratic Republic of Congo, and Storytelling project from Middle East and North Africa region. Once again, congratulations, and your presentations signed by organizers will be sent to you by email, and the confirmation basically that you are a winner and you would be receiving prize as well will be communicated to after the event is over. Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining us for this award ceremony, for actively participating. I think that the chat was at some point going beyond of control, and people were very excited, I guess, to exchange and share their ideas and support. And we could also see some direct lobbying, which is not really welcome, but we hope that that is going to be respected. We wish you all a nice weekend. Stay in touch with us via social media. And I also would like to thank my team members as well present, Ilya for moderating with me, Alan for providing technical support, and again to all of the finalists for taking your time and for being with us. I know that you are all around in different time zones, and being able to join to celebrate this moment is very important. And for those who didn't make it to the winners this time, I would like to encourage you to apply again for the next year, because we already had some of the examples when projects made it to the finalists in one year and didn't win, but then they reapplied and were selected as winners again. Just to let you know that we might be able to stay in touch with some of the projects in which we would have a capacity to help you out in some way, whether it's an outreach or social media promotion of your further work and collaborations as well. And we are very open towards that. I also would like to mention that this event was held in conjunction with the Basel Peace Forum. We are also thankful for the organizers of that event for letting us to have this ceremony as a side event. Yeah, and I think no more words left from my side. So I wish you a nice rest of the day, night, wherever you are. Stay in touch with us. And thank you so much again.